105 degrees, and just had such a beautiful morning with Abraham Hicks on her live seminar. One of my most precious and honored mentors, especially in the realm of transmediumship. So if you haven't had a chance to check out her work, Abraham Hicks, the boss. So it's so interesting because, you know, so often I do these videos or I do these live sessions, and little do you know, but now you do, that I'll pause for maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute, maybe 5 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes before I do any sort of live video or even a recorded video, to make sure that it's the exact divine timing for me to start. Abraham Hicks would call it alignment. Some people would call it divine timing. I like to think of it as channeling. And this is a question that often comes to me as a channel by trade. Yeah, something that I do for money, for work. How to channel and how to connect to your divine energy, your inner being, how to channel your higher self. So many people are so interested in channeling other beings, the angels, their guides, and yet the first entity to channel is yourself. Wouldn't it be amazing if everything that you did, from the videos that you posted on Facebook to the dialogue that you had between you and your loved one, to, you know, even messages on Facebook Messenger or any other applications, or even phone calls, were 100% from a channeled perspective? And the reason why this is so important, this is so enlightening, this work of everyone becoming a channel in their conscious mind, becoming a medium and communicating from that space, is because, as Abraham Hicks said today in her talk, that otherwise it can be so much split energy, i.e. saying one thing and projecting a different vibration. And we spend so much, I don't want to even say spend, I mean waste so much time and energy communicating, thinking we're communicating one thing, when in actuality we're communicating another thing. And then we spend so much time going, no, you're misinterpreting me. Like, that's not what I really meant. That's not what I really said. You know, like you're not getting like the context from which I was speaking. When in reality, that person probably did get the context from which you were speaking. You weren't being honest with yourself. Yes, Annie, thank you so much. Channeling your higher self first. It definitely strengthens your intuition, and it also enables us to connect in the moment. Listen to this. How frustrating is it when you go text message back and forth, right? And the time in between your text message and when you're actually receiving the answer is like sometimes 10 minutes, sometimes 10 hours. In my experience, sometimes 10 days. And how frustrating can it feel? Yeah, when by the time you receive the response to your message, you're in a different vibrational space. And so even though the person was in a different vibrational space, when in the exact moment you texted, you were ESP. You were telepathically connected and in alignment. That's why phone calls are so much easier. That's why messaging back and forth in the exact moment is so much easier. But when we're focused so much on the response of someone else instead of what is my own personal truth, that's what gives us in a big mess. So I'm going to share with you today whatever's coming out of my heart, without having necessarily an idea, a format, a template of what I'm going to share. More like what is coming from here, so that it can feel like truth to you, because it's only truth that can be integrated. It's only truth that can be understood and not misinterpreted. So what comes from my heart right now is just to say that you're so good at channeling, that you are so incredibly beautiful, and perfect at channeling. All that's needed now is a context from... Can you hear me now? That's hilarious. If you're still watching, it's 105 degrees outside and my phone literally shut down. By the way, I have clothes on. Let's see. So the only thing that's missing, thank you. The only thing that's missing is the understanding that you are channeling, and when you're channeling, and to recognize how that feels. Yeah? How does it feel? And to then stack the positive evidence okay, now I know that I was channeling when I said that. I was really channeling when I did that. And I was channeling, and that person was channeling. You already can recognize when somebody else is channeling, yes? You can feel it, because why? Because it feels like so pure. It feels like truth. It feels like honesty. It feels like integrity. It feels an alignment. So here's the key emotionally to know when you're channeling. The key... Can you hear me now? This is hilarious. Let's see, let's get some good lighting here. The key is to connect with that feeling that feels like perfect motion. You know, so often we talk about alignment, but when it comes to channeling, it feels like perfect motion. So I'm going to give you kind of like a visual. So for those of you who have ever lifted a weight in your life, right? Like, I have clothes on. I just want to remind you of that. For those of you who have lifted like the hand weights, right? So you don't go from full extension to curl, like that fast, right? Especially if they're a heavy weight. What's going to happen if you go from full extension to curl super fast? What's going to happen is you'll have a muscle strain. You might even have a muscle tear, right? That's what happens in muscle trauma, is it happened too fast. It's something that could have happened if you would have slowed down. Yeah, it's something that could have happened if you would have paid close attention to exactly how the muscle feels the entire time, and you're fully focused and supporting the energy of the curl, yeah, in a physical way. So the same thing occurs when you're channeling. You know that you're in motion with the center of your true being, of your true self, when it feels just right. But you can't go too fast. That's the issue. When you're focused on how the other person is going to respond, when you're focused on how is the other person receiving this information, then you're out of alignment with your own inner being. So here's how it feels. Let's do a little test here. Check into your heart. And I want you to say the first, let's say, 3 words that feel like truth. But if at any point the energy goes and feels like resistance, if the energy goes and it feels like fear, if the energy feels like insecurity, if it feels any other energy other than pure truth, then you're off the channel, right? You're literally tuning. It's like a radio station. You're literally tuning the dial. And the thing is, it's not a tune and stay there. That's the misconception. It's not a tune and stay there. It's a constant tuning, because you're going to want to, at some point naturally, because of the ego, you're going to want to go off the channel. Yeah, you're going to want to go over here because before your mind had made sense of it in this way, right? But then if you go on that other channel where your ego is in control and where you went before, following that neural pathway that's already pre-existing, that's not in the space and time of the now, which is where your truth and where truth will always exist, which is right now, right now, right now. So let's get back to this exercise. So feel into it and feel, what are the first 3 words that come to mind? And I'll do it with you. Why? have you not eaten? So that's my body asking me to eat. Yeah? So there's part of me that wanted to have a response to give you or an example that was like so profound, right? That was like so enlightening. But that wasn't my truth in the now moment. My truth in the now moment is my body saying, hey, it's 105 degrees outside. I need some sustenance. So that's another aspect of channeling, yeah? Is to really steer away from the expectation that whatever comes out is going to be like, inspiring or like completely life-changing or paradigm shifting. Yeah, because that's not necessarily what channeling is. Channeling is what is so right now. So put in the comments below if it feels right, what came out of your mouth. Like I said, it doesn't have to be profound. It doesn't have to be life-changing. It doesn't have to be like wisdom of the gods. You know, it's like, what is your truth? Maybe your truth is, why am I feeling sad? Maybe your truth is a question. Maybe your truth is, am I here for a reason? You know, it's a question. Whatever it is, put it in the comments down below, because I want to hear from you. I want to hear like what you're channeling right now, the energy of what you're channeling right now. So that's the secret. You know, when I do trance mediumship, people are like, oh, you know, like it's this like crazy talent and you know, I wish I had that gift. I hear that so often. You have that gift. What I've developed that most people haven't developed is a willingness to not be right. Exactly. Take your time. Yes. A willingness to not be right. A willingness to not be right. And oftentimes, the angels, for a lot of you know that my work with the angels, and you know that they call me out sometimes, and they're like, Rachel wants us to say this one thing, but we're not going to say it that way. So they'll call me out because my ego, the already developed neural pathways, want to go in this direction, and like I want to say it this way because this way to me feels maybe more beautiful. It feels like more profound, but it's not the truth that's wanting to come through. Yeah. So we're wanting to switch our minds around what channeling is so that we can connect with the truth that's wanting to come through us. I love you so much. You're amazing. You're doing so great at life. I may or may not do more videos like this. I'm sure when I feel inspired, you'll hear from me. Thank you so much, Johnny and Annie, for joining us. You're amazing. You're doing a great job at life. I appreciate your contribution. Thank you. Mwah.